Women Revolt was meant to be a leading part for Holly, and the idea of her being a woman's liber was just my amusing take on this idea that was just starting then of women should be like men, which was a kind of silly idea. I think it still is. It's been proven that, but it's not going to stop.
Out. I just put it down. Out. Don't. Ow. I just put it down over here, all right?
Holly, please, I told you I don't want any men in this apartment.
It seemed to be a funny idea, a comical idea. Men who had devoted their life to assuming the roles of women should be asked to play women who were told by the women's lib movement that they should assume the roles of men.
What are you trying to do?
Well, we're trying to further it and,
Further what?
the movement. You know,
What's the movement?
The women, you know, darling.
Women's liberation?
Women's liberation.
So I mentioned it to Andy. I said, I think they should play women's libers like, like the ridiculous Valerie Solanas. And he was very brave about it. He said, oh, well, that's a good idea. I mean, I don't remember ever saying anything to Andy he didn't say was a good idea. He was so glad to have any ideas because he didn't come up with any himself, I remember. He wasn't the type of person who had funny ideas or creative ideas.
They're going to think we're lesbians.
No, they're not going to think we're lesbians, Holly. A school teacher and a model. Those are lesbians.
I remember later reading something where she said, oh, I like it when Andy directs me, not Paul. Well, Andy never directed anybody. What she liked is that Andy didn't interfere with her. Andy didn't interfere with anybody because he didn't know what to interfere with.
See, what I was after was something more, in between, right? Something more
Original.
Intangible.
Jackie dominates the movie with this strong character Jackie had. And the remarks she makes are funny in a Jackie way, while the Candy remarks are funny in a Candy way.
I'm only a woman.
Oh.
What have I got to offer?
Oh, now.
Facade?
A glittering facade?
A glittering facade.
A glittering facade.
You become very sympathetic to the plight of women. And you sort of have to say to yourself, gee, it's not easy being a woman. You wouldn't say that if women were playing the parts. You just take it for granted. But the fact that men are going through these problems, pretending to be women, I think it makes it much more effective. Well, I operated with Women Revolt and Jackie and Candy, the same as every film I made, without a script. I would always just explain to Jackie, and very briefly, I said, Jackie, in this scene, this is your guy you're trying to, pay to have sex with. He's Mr. America. You're a women's liber.
We're tired of being sex objects for every man to just have their way with, No. I mean, you know what it's like to be a sex object. You were Mr. America. That's why I came to you. I want to know what this is like. Why Holly and why other girls that are involved in the movement are so hung up with men. I mean, I want to have sex at the top, so I'll know what America's like at the bottom.
So I would give them each, always, the basis of the scene. And when I'd stop and start, I'd suggest lines. I said, Jackie, why don't you do this? Okay, let's go. What I think this did, obviously, in retrospect, was it took out self-consciousness and it made them just take chances.
You play a domineering role in the office and business. I mean, you have superior earning positions. That's why you're so arrogant. Because you had that superior earning position. I mean, as a basic material, you're not bad. But you're the unfortunate victim of it. Doomed culture. You know that? You know that.
So these films, besides being unusual when you see them, no films in the history of the world ever were made in this way, where they were actually made in 10 hours, on afternoons.
Move those buns, sweetie. Come on. Let's go. And I want to clean up these messes too.
It always disappointed me that these pioneer female impersonators were so gifted and so funny and had such a hard time making any money if they made any at all. They led very difficult lives.